Hey guys, Brian here. As you can see, I cut my hair. Mostly because I wanted to, what's the word I'm looking for? Start new. So I started new. Let me tell you. Today's topic is coming out story. And my story's kind of sad. So if you're teary-eyed, get emotional easy, I need you to grab a tissue. First and foremost, whatever decision you make, whether it's gay, straight, lesbian, whatever, anything, be prepared to lose everything and anybody. Everybody. I'm not even out for a month and a half and I'm already losing people. And people that I thought I were going to be there my whole life. Second of all, not everybody's going to agree with your decisions in life in general. So, be prepared. Pre-T guys and guys who are just coming out and people who are questioning their gender. This life is hard. It's no joke. Transgender doesn't make you what you are. Or, it doesn't make you who you are. It's what you are. Because you're still always going to be the same person. So, my story. My story begins before I was even born. I was born in Anchorage, Alaska in 94. March 17th, 94. At the time, they couldn't tell you what gender you were having because of some weird law. They could hint, which they did to my parents. They said, you're going to have to sign this one up for sports. You're going to have to be buying blue. You know, the stupid little, just stupid. So, just stupid little hints like that. You know, pink for a girl, blue for a boy, whatever. So, they did, and, it came out, I came out, and poof, you have a girl. My birth name is, Darian Michelle, so, which Darian's typically a guy name, so it's, kind of works, and I didn't have to change my name if I didn't want to, but I did, so I did. Even as a little kid, I didn't, how do I put this? I wouldn't go to girls. I would only go to guys. They used to play this game, I guess, where they would try to pass me to a girl and I'd scream, cry, kick, whatever. I didn't want to be with a woman. I always wanted to be with a guy. Males, uncles, my dad, just everybody that is male. I wouldn't go to females. At 3, I remember this day. My mother left me when I was 1 with my father. Didn't die, she just literally left. She called me, and at 3 years old, I told her, I'm a boy and I liked girls. Well, my family thought it was funny, haha, hee hee kind of joke, but it wasn't. I was serious. I wanted this, I needed this, I wanted to be a boy, and my family didn't get it. At the time I was living with my papa, so things were happy and jolly. At 6, I started living with my dad. Now, this is where you're going to have to need the tissues. My dad was a very abusive man. Hit me, beat me, starved me. He's actually almost killed me 3 times in my whole life. So, yeah, he's pretty much killed me. I've been on my deathbed 3 different times because of him. Sorry, I had to change my camera. So 3 times I've almost died. When I was 6, I started seeing a therapist because of, number one, the issues me and my dad were having, and there was a situation, and 2, because I kept calling myself a boy. At 6 years old, I was diagnosed with GID, which is gender identity disorder, for those of you who don't know. And let me explain something before I move on. Kids, listen to your kids. If they are 4 and under, listen to them. Well, maybe 3, yeah. They don't know the concept of lying, and they're more truthful about themselves and everything that's going on beforehand. Because afterwards they begin knowing they don't lie. But lying is a sign of intelligence. Look it up. It's true. Because you're able to make an alternate reality. But for those parents out there, please, please listen to your kids. Love them for who they are. But back to my story. I was living with my dad, and you know, my dad was horrible to me, and he taunted me for it. He taunted me for wanting to be a boy, and when I wanted to be a boy, I was like, well, this is who I am. So he used to taunt me, and one day he punched me in my face and told me, 1, you're a girl. The next day he punched me in the face and said, why are you crying? Boys don't fucking cry. Blah, 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 blah. Why the fuck are you crying? Da, 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 da. Boys don't cry. If you're gonna be a man, you're gonna fucking grow up as a man. Don't fucking cry. Crying's for pussies. So, after that day, I didn't cry. Because I beat it into my head that boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. You're a boy, so don't cry. In 2nd grade, I got suspended because I had this crush, and her name was Morgan Stewart, and so the crush kind of came, and I kissed her on the cheek, and because I'm female, they suspended me. Which is, now I look at it, that's wrong, because, you know, the kid ended up kissing the same girl on the cheek and didn't get suspended, but he was a boy. I'm a boy too, so it's kind of like, you know, what the fuck. What I used to wear is, my dad was actually kind enough to get me boy clothes, or not even boy clothes, tomboy clothes too. And I've always wore jeans, shirt. I was fine. I had dysphoria. I always used to go to bed and say, God, make me into a boy. God, make me into a boy. Let me wake up and be a boy. Let me wake up and be a boy. Let me wake up and be a boy. I mean, that's what I wanted, so I did. I every single day, and I started cussing God out because, man, you didn't make me a boy. You're supposed to grant wishes and make a better life. I want to be a boy. You know, even to this day, I go to sleep and I'm not a girl. Every time I go to sleep, I'm a boy. I'm always a boy. Like, I might not look the same the next dream, but I'm a boy. Point blank period, I'm a boy. And, well, the time came where I was 15 years old. Oh no, I was 14, and I started growing boobs and getting my period, and that's when the dysphoria really hit me, because I didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, I knew I was a girl, but I knew I was a boy too, so it killed me. I started dressing like a girl, trying to act like a girl, but I never was, so, the time came where my dad at the time was kicking me out and starving me, and I would go to my friends and eat and whatever. Majority of them knew what was going on, and so they helped me. Well, April 9th, 2000, 2009, right after Easter. Me and my dad got into it. You know, you get so mad that you don't think, and I started balling my fist, like, but they were at my side. It was more like, ah, you know, I want to punch you in the fucking face, ooh, you know, that type of anger. And my dad looked at me and said, punch me in the face, do it, I dare you. And I lost my temper, so I did, because I'm kind of a hot-headed guy. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? Blah, blah, blah. And I dipped. I started running. I was like, ah! Well, my dad ended up picking me up and dragging me back and beat the living shit out of me. And he called the cops, and the cops took me because I guess I interrogated it or whatever. Despite all the bruises and you could tell that it was abuse. And they didn't do anything. Which is part of the reason. My dad is the major reason why I can't get close to people. Gregory can tell you that when he gets too close, not physically, like emotionally and that, like I'll start pushing him away, and I can't really help it. It's just something I've dealt with my whole life. You know, transgender isn't who you are. It's what you are. It doesn't define you by no means. It's just something that's there. It's not a condition. I don't want to say conditions. It's just something that's there, and you have to deal with it. And it's hard. It really, really is. But back to my story. So I went into juvenile. For those of you in Michigan who's never been, or in other states, there's two types of things. There's juvie, and then there's placement. Juvie is like jail. Placement's like prison, but with a therapeutic push on it. You get a therapist, and it's supposed to be therapeutic and help you with your problems and everything. So yeah. Well, I ended up went to juvie for 3 months, and I despite me begging not to go back to my dad, through that, and I explained thoroughly what happened since I was 6, the beatings, the throwing down the stairs, the starvation, the lacking of the food, me not having a bed, my head being pushed and puke rubbed through it, my hand-me-downs, my brother getting all these brand new stuff, and, you know, everything. And my little brother, you know, I love him to death, but since I was 6, when he was born, I've been jealous of him. Not because of how he was treated, but because he was a boy. I wanted to be a boy, and I think my dad would have been happier with a boy. Like, a boy that wasn't from my mother, because I now know, since I'm older, it's because I'm my mother's child, not because of who I am or what I am. It's because my mother's child. So I went to placement after the 3 months, and I went back with my dad, and my dad sicked the dogs on me and bit me up. I still have scars from that. Like I said, he's almost killed me 3 times successfully. And he's still not in jail. It's such a sad thing, but he's not in jail. So I went to placement. When I went to placement, it got better. I started getting clothes I want. At the time, I started calling myself a stud, which, for those of you who don't know, a stud is a butch woman, dressed like a boy, act like a boy, but identifies as a woman, a lesbian. So how do I put it? It's kind of helps my dysphoria. And for those of you who don't know, I don't bind. You can't really see my chest anyway because they're so small. So it's great. I'm gonna start binding though, so I can have a complete flat chest. Well, when I went to my foster home, I started getting all the clothes I wanted. It started acting like a boy, and I still knew about transgender, so I still identified as a stud. So I that's kind of what happened. It helped with the dysphoria, and the dysphoria I had was really, really bad, especially when I was young. I knew I was female, but I wanted to be a boy, and I kept telling myself, be a boy, be a boy, I want to be a boy, I want to be a boy, I want to be a boy, and that was it. Things ended up going bad with them. I'm not really getting into what happened, but I went to placement again, not because of anything I did, but my family wasn't, I guess, the family I thought it was. Which I met Gregory. At the time, he was going as Alicia, so everybody still knows us as Darian and Alicia. So when I met him, everything was great. Like, my world, I was still in placement, but it was a reason to get up. Well, one day I told him, I'm like, because at the time I started finding out about this transgender stuff, and I was like, yeah, I could potentially do this. And I asked him, what would you do if I started taking hormones? His exact words was, I would leave you, because I don't like boys, and you're not a boy. So I went back to this thing, what I like to call my emo corner, which is, for those of you who watch Orion High School Host Club, look it up on Google, you'll see it. It's my emo corner, and it's not physical, but it's in my mind. So I shut it down again. But it was still there, and I hated myself even more. Me and Gregory ended up breaking up, and kept breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. And I asked him again one of the times we were together, what would you do if I got hormones? He's like, I don't know what I would do. I think I would still leave you because I'm not attracted to boys. And I knew it was still there. I ended up going into a very, very deep depression because I knew I was a boy, and I knew I wanted to start taking testosterone and stuff because I wanted to be a boy. I mean, that's who I was. I was a boy, and I wanted to match. Well, yeah. So that's kind of what happened. Well, eventually, recently, we ended up fighting because he changed his gender on Facebook, and he didn't tell me, and it said, he commented on your stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? You're going as a he now? And, we started fighting, and, he came out to me, and I didn't accept it because of the fact that I thought it was a double standard. How are you going to sit here and tell me you're about to get on hormones and you want to be called this? But when I asked you, you wanted to deny me. And so I kind of said, fuck it, I'm doing it too. And there's nothing you can do about it. And we kind of came into terms with it. I've came out to a majority of people, except for, like, my family, my aunts, uncles, and my real dad, and my papa, especially not my papa, because my papa's kind of old, and I don't want to give him a heart attack. That's my worry. My father, that's actually in the house, he's accepting it. I'm getting him, it's hard for him because he's old, he won't call me he or Brian. He calls me Bryans sometimes, which makes me happy, but, that's my coming out story. But for all of you guys, I'm sorry, my life's such a sad story. There's a lot more I left out. If you have any questions, please, I will answer them thoroughly. Just seriously, if you're trans, if you're going through the dysphoria that many of us are, you're not alone. I'm here to talk. And, when you do come out, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder than shit to come out. But you'll feel so much better about who you are and what you are. When I came out, I was such a happy person. I can finally work on stuff that I didn't work on for years because my gender. I finally came to terms with my gender. I've came to terms with it, and now I can move forward and work on other stuff that I need to. So, it's the greatest thing in the world. Not everybody's going to accept you for who you are or what you are. I mean, I cut my hair. And there was a whole controversy on Facebook on my profile picture because I did. And me and that person was friends for years. And I lost her. And I've been losing people left and right because of this. You're going to lose people. I will never lie to you guys. I will always tell you how it is. Because that's what some people need. It's hard out there. It is. But you're not alone. And there's going to be people who you think are not going to leave you. Well, that's going to leave you. But then again, that person's going to be replaced with somebody even better who accepts you for who you are, who will be there for left and right. Right or wrong, they're going to be there. And if you guys need me, I'm here. All 7 of us, Liam, Skylar, Aiden, Carson, Gregory, me. I think Dustin. Sorry, Dustin, I forgot about you. Love you. Hey. Sorry, Dustin, again. We're all here, though. We're all here to help. So, it's my video, guys. Life update. Life's pretty good. Other than my relationship issues. Moving tomorrow, so I'll be in the new house, or apartment, and hopefully getting a computer soon. But, I love you guys. Keep following us, keep checking in every day, new video, and, stay strong. That's all I can say. Stay strong. Bye!